colleague and a trusted friend. So in addition to guiding graduate students, I taught a class on natural resource policy, based strictly on my credentials of having been there and done that. Very little academic, but it was real life, real life stuff. Those 10 years were by far the most pleasurable of my long career. And as my long career has progressed, I was ever more aware that I needed to take every advantage of educational opportunity if I was to be all that I could be. Fortunately, several of my various assignments were in proximity to fine universities who welcomed me as a mature, really very mature graduate student, and I completed 2 spare-time master's degrees and a PhD. So I fully understood that if I was not learning and growing, I was standing still at best and sliding backwards at worst. My association with professional societies, Societies of Wildlife Society, Society of American Forest Range Society, and others broadened my horizons and professional connections and lent cachet in working across professional specialty boundaries and carried over to enhanced effectiveness of court appearances, rendering advice to state and federal government officials and court appearances. We wildlifers come from proud stock. We've made consistent progress over the last 3/4 of a century. We still face an uphill fight. We always do. But the good news is that we have a hard-earned and enhanced role to play. I want to close with a story from early in my career. Once during my Texas days in the late 1950s, an outdoor writer in San Antonio, Texas, who thoroughly and intensely despised smart-ass, college-smart, dumb-ass wildlife biologists, his words. And he intimated in his Sunday column that my team, besides being totally incompetent, was issuing antlerless deer permits to select landowners in exchange for gratuities. That was by God enough. I called my boss to give him a heads up that I was going to San Antonio to have it done. I had kicking his ass up around his ears in mind. That's a technical term. But my boss deflated me. He said, "Oh, come on, big Jack. First off, today's newspaper is tomorrow's garbage can line." His actual words were a little more colorful. Second, we are insignificant people in an insignificant profession, doing what most people consider to be insignificant things. That hurt. But, he said, the time's coming when folks will read about what we do and what we say, not on the sports page, but on the front pages and the editorial pages of this country's biggest newspapers. Our ranks will be filled with folks that are ever better educated and competent professionals, supplied with dramatically improved equipment, techniques, and communication skills. Wildlifers will appear frequently on television and on the evening news. Movies and television shows will be made about what we do. We will routinely testify before state legislatures and Congress. Some of us will head federal and state conservation agencies. We will advise governors, even presidents. We will regularly work in other countries to help them save their precious wildlife. It won't be an easy road, but we're well on the way. You will be right in the middle. By the time you retire, we will collectively be better educated, more experienced, more skilled. We will have a proud track record to build on. We will be employing techniques and equipment that will sound like science, fiction to us today. He stopped talking. I hung up. Breathed deep, gritted my teeth, wadded up the offending newspaper, and tossed it in a round file. I hoped he was right, but I wasn't really optimistic, and I really did want to kick that guy 45 years later, I can say he was right on target. Just how clearly he saw the future. And now, in the twilight of a long career, I believe even after the progress of the last 75 years, we're just getting started. I have in bull sessions around 100 campfires and maybe in more than a couple of bars. Heard others relate similar stories. Taken together, those tales add up to describe a profession that steadily expanded in numbers, knowledge, skill, and influence. That was not an accident. We collectively earned our place in the sun. It will be a challenge to grasp new emerging opportunities while continuing to deal effectively with those aspects of our profession that bring us to the dance. We must be flexible enough, aggressive enough, skilled enough to build and maintain a big enough tent to house the many offspring of our founders. We're just getting started. Now, I'm certain the University of Montana and its graduates will continue to play prominent roles as the story of our shared profession continues to evolve. We only have to do one thing. I'm a PhD, so I speak Latin. Carpe diem, seize the day. Thank you.
Our students got to hear talks like that for 10 years. Absolutely wonderful. We have two endowed chairs at the University of Montana, the Adjunct Professor. We also have the John J. Craighead Endowed Chair. The first incumbent in that position is Joel Berger, who's somewhere there. Little did I know, back in about 1980, I got hired to work on a strange project in California. It was called the MX missile, where the federal government was going to put missiles on some trains, fake missiles on others, and move them around through caves and tunnels, and the Russians, the Soviets would have no idea where the real missiles were. And so I was hired to work on the environmental impact statement for that project. And I met a guy at that time by the name of Joel Berger. He had long hair and quite a bit the way he does today. About 2 weeks later, Congress canceled that whole project, and I was out of a job. Fortunately, I hadn't finished my PhD yet, so I went back and finished up. I didn't see Joel again until I think it was either 2000 or 2001 when we hosted the either conservation biology meetings or the mammalogist meetings. And he came up to me and said, "Hey, I understand you're looking to raise the money for a John Craighead chair." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, when that comes around, please let me know. I might be interested in one." Anyway, long story short, we hired him. Joel is now on our faculty as a Craighead chair. Joel. By the way, this young lady here is Emma Bentley. Many of you heard about this event from Emma or Jeannie France, who was already introduced in that. Wonderful addition to what we do around here. And knowledgeable when it comes to these fancy things.
Pull off my side. So I hadn't realized that President Engstrom was going to be here. And so I have to change my beginning. Let's see, of public universities, there have to be very few presidents who canoe in the Arctic. And there are very few who know what a muskox is, and President Engstrom has to be the only one that has seen wild muskox. So when I saw that he was being hired here, I thought this was a good omen about this place. What I'm going to do today is try to have some fun, and I'm going to try to make 3 points. The first point is that I'll talk about what a great place we live. I'm going to ask 4 questions of you in the audience, but you're going to have to pay attention because I'm going to pepper them throughout, but I will flag them for you and see how good you are at spotting things on my slides. And then lastly, I'm going to try to do a quick whirlwind tour. So we know we live in a good spot. We've heard that. My first time here, after working in meeting Dan Pletcher for 2 days, and actually it was an Air Force contract, and Dan was wrong one of the few times because my hair was short, not long.
Short being a relative term.
So 1981 was my first time in Missoula. I was sitting out on a bar, at this bar, Finn and Porter, with a recent graduate of the wildlife program, Dennis Bannicky, who worked under Bart O'Gara. And I watched an osprey hit a trout, fly away with it, and I thought, wow, I got to find a way to get back there. It was 26 years until that happened. This program has had a lot of commitment. It goes back a long time. Lots of people. We all build careers on the backs of others. I know I certainly have. In this picture, you know many of these people. 2 at least are in this audience that I know. Who is the man behind the gray? That would be Dan Pletcher.
Hasn't changed a bit.
It takes a lot of people to